Hello to all of you. Well, I'm here in England and you can see a nice big traditional English building out behind me. I'm here with Shahan from Living Works, and we met about a year ago actually when we launched here in London. And this is just going to be a short little video because we're really excited to get the UK opportunities going, to find numerous opportunities. But what people must understand mostly is that we don't invest in property, we invest in partners. And I was just having lunch with you and you were explaining just some of the things that you like to look for in a deal. And just tell us a little bit, what is your speciality in terms of these sourcing deals, the relationships you've got, etc.?
So for me, it's very important, Scott, that what we do is we work with the integrated network of landowners, land partners, and we find deals that are off market. We create value from that from day one. My job is to create value from the very minute we acquire a site, to build up equity behind that. And I do that from my integrated contacts, I do that from my skill set built up over 20 years of being a chartered surveyor. And essentially what I'm looking is for all asset management angles to the point where we actually get to income, and we're all creating a huge equity uplift inside of that asset.
So now tell me, one of the things that I started investing here in London in 2002, and one of the things I've learned that comes up over and over and over again is he who's got the money is king. In terms of doing the deals. Does that make sense? And so what we can't do is necessarily find a deal and then sort of go to the market and say, hey, who's keen to invest? Because it's just, you don't get the good deals basically. So what I'm thinking of is how could we do it where, you were talking about it now, there's effectively 3 deals in the pipeline, where we actually want people to say, oh, look, I'd actually be pretty interested in being able to participate, but where the capital would actually be needed to be available so that we can execute on the deal, almost to the point where the money would be in the bank and we can actually show the proof of funds, because the more we'll be able to do that, the better we'll be able to take down deals.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
It does. The speed of deals is really important for us. So the skill set that we possess on our side of Living Works is we're here to actually vet those deals and make sure that they're prime opportunities to invest into. Sourcing these deals is not easy, but we have a pipeline to do that. What is harder is making sure we've got those funds ready to go, because if you're a person selling a building or a piece of land, at the end of the day, all you want to know is that person coming in to buy it is ready there to buy it. So what we want to be able to do is work effectively with our funders, to work effectively with our private equity supporters, and make sure that we're all on the same page, communicating well so we can actually move forward in these deals effectively, so we can all create as much value for money as we can out of these assets.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about was just the deal that you were just talking about now, which I liked. And, because as you said, there's sort of 3 types of deals. You've got a full development deal where there's all the risk. You go buy the land, do the development and sell it, and there's only a return right on the back end. Then there's what we call an income producing deal, which is where it's really de-risked. There's a tenant in the property and you're going to get paid at the end of the month or the end of the quarter. And then there's sort of a hybrid somewhere in the middle, which, for me, that's great because now you've got both the income and the potential upside. Talk a little bit about that one that you were just talking about, where there's a commercial unit, you've got a potential tenant you could put in the commercial unit, but yet you could also subdivide. And just to tell us a little bit about that. And again, I want to be clear, this is not a deal that's on the table, but it's a potential deal that should we have the capital, we could execute on this deal.
So my preference on deals as well, so it's quite an interesting hybrid situation, but what we've essentially got is a central location, close to the entrance into London, and we've got an office block in the front, big car park to the rear. And what that big car park's already got is a consent on there to build residential flats on the back of it. But I see an angle to densify that actually with some more units on top of it, going about another story. But what we could do is we could acquire the whole site, we could split the title. I've got a strong covenant tenant that wants to go into the office building. We could put them in there on whatever, let's say, many years lease, with an option potentially to sell it to them on the back end. And all of a sudden what we've got there from day one is a capital input to a site where we've got income generating from the minute we buy it, because I've typed the lease to coincide with the date of purchase. Straight away we've got the income on that, and we can go straight into the back end of the development site. So you've got this beautiful hybrid between investment and development. So you're not at one extreme or the other, you're going to match right in the middle.
No, perfect. And I mean, to be honest, I actually learned that from Henny Poseidon and Peter Fenstra, because even with that development, we could sell off half the units, retail, recapitalize the whole project, effectively own the asset for free, and go and do that again. Before I finish, I just remembered something else. Tell us about that house you just bought, or no, not the house, the piece of land, where effectively, you thought you were just going to put up a house and then you got a subdivision. Just talk us through those numbers a little bit, because it's not about doing $50 million deals to get good returns. There are smaller deals that are good deals as well.
So this is a sort of deal that probably about a year or so ago I probably ignored, to be honest with you. and my vision has totally changed on these things. So I was bought a piece of land by one of my brokers.
He had his daughter, so he decided not to work quite so hard.
That's what I'm telling myself. Whether that's reality or not, we're not too sure yet. But absolutely, my daughter's changed that for me. But what was that brought to me by one of my land guys? Fantastic opportunity. And what it was is a site that we bought for £140,000. Now originally it had a consent on there to do a detached house. We could have bought that, built that detached house and sold it on. And we were talking about making a profit margin of somewhere around sort of £100,000 to £120,000. But once we bought it and I looked at it, I saw an angle on it. We could probably get 2 houses on there, maybe semi-detached. But in fact what I did is I worked with my architects, I worked with my planning guys, and we saw we could actually get 2 townhouses on there. We just got the consent for those 2 townhouses. So we're talking about London location, 2 3-bed townhouses. There's a premium that comes with townhouses because they're more of an interesting building. Now all of a sudden our profit margin on the back end is potentially go up to £500,000.
It's amazing, yeah. So look, that's really just what I wanted to bring you. You know, Sean, it's lovely chatting to you. And for me, it's a classic example of real people, real stories, real property, all in real estate. And really, again, it's not about the property when you're looking to make a return. It's about the partner. So thanks for sharing your experience. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
And yeah, to those of you interested, just reach out to me and the team. We certainly are going to, these deals that we've been talking about, be going further in terms of the due diligence. But we do want to get a show of interest from people if they're interested, because we're going to need to pull the trigger quickly if there's interest. See you soon. Cheers.